to Complexity Made Simple. My name is Paul Allen, and before we get into today's video, just a reminder, some great news. The design of experiments for 21st century engineers, the Minitab version, has just been released. I know for those of you unfortunate enough to have selected Minitab, you have a great deal of difficulty in understanding this software. So we've created this special version of this text with the Minitab screenshots. The link to lulu.com where you can buy this book is in the description below. And of course, you also have the option of purchasing Drink Tea and Read the Paper, which is the perfect book to go with your green belt or Six Sigma black belt training. The link to lulu.com for that book is also in the description below. And of course, the other thing that we'd really love you to do, please go to buymeacoffee.com and make a small donation. All of these things, the purchase of the books and the donations, they help keep the channel moving. I'm really grateful to all of those people who are currently donating. Many thanks for your support and your help. And now let's get on with today's video. Welcome to the latest video. And in this video newsletter, we're going to be answering a question from a viewer who asked me, when you're controlling inputs to control the output, how to control the inputs of purchased components. Okay, so controlling purchased component, I'm just going to call it variability. I mean, the questioner suggested to me that actually the components were not to specification, or they weren't working properly in some shape or form. But I'm just going to say controlling component variability. Now, this questioner says he works in an electronics factory, that the components come in, the components get a long way down the production process, and then by the time they spot them that there's a problem, it's obviously quite an expensive problem, and they've got to do a fair amount of repair, especially if something is surface mounted. It's very difficult to remove and replace surface mount components without messing the whole board up, so it becomes quite a complicated, expensive repair potentially. So controlling purchased components. Now that I've already given the person a reply on one of my YouTube videos, but it's pretty straightforward. And here's what I said. Very straightforward. You just buy from the right suppliers. What he was suggesting is, how do we get the storeman or the technicians to spot the problem before it goes into a component, before it goes into an assembly? Well, the answer is you don't. You buy from the right suppliers, and that's it. Why would you do anything else? And I want to just use this little example. It seems like a simple answer to the problem, but I want to just use this simple question to just restate the three things that you're looking from a supplier: quality, cost, delivery. They're the three things that you're looking from a supplier. By the way, they're the three things that your customers are looking for from you: quality, cost, and delivery. Now, the point I wanted to make is that normally whenever we say them in that order. We say quality, cost, and delivery. Now, the reason we say them in that order isn't an accident. It's because that's how you should approach those three subjects. So if you say, I want to buy a 5 ohm, I want to buy a 5 ohm chip resistor. Okay, I need to find a supplier for a 5 ohm chip resistor. The first thing you do is you find a supplier or list of suppliers that meet your quality. They do this. That's the only way they qualify for the next 2 questions. The only way they qualify for it, if they're at the right cost and can deliver on time, is if they do the job. You know, you can easily buy a cheaper car. You can take 4 doors off it and you would save yourself £1,500 probably if you took the doors off your car. But that wouldn't meet your quality requirements, would it? So the car company that doesn't put doors on the car, doesn't put a roof on the car, doesn't put air conditioning on the car, they don't meet your quality requirements. You would never even visit that car company. Once you've decided they have the quality, then you can talk about the cost, and eventually, of course, you'll see whether they can deliver. The delivery situation, you're not going to know until you engage them. But these 2, you can find out before you start, and you should find out before you start. And basically, if the supplier doesn't meet that, no point that they meet that. If you don't put 4 doors on my car, the fact that the car is £1,500 cheaper makes no difference to me. Quality, cost, delivery. They come in that order. Now I know some companies that inside their company they put up notice boards, and lots of people would normally do safety. The notice board would be, here's all the information about safety, here's all the information about quality, here's all the information about cost, here's all the information about delivery. But some companies I know actually swap these 2 around, and they actually go cost like that. That's stupid. That is just the dumbest thing in the world. In the purchasing department, I want to ask all the purchasing people this simple question. What's the cheapest car? Now I'm talking about the UK. What's the cheapest car you could buy? It is probably a Dacia. Now you can ask this question in your country, so whatever the cheapest car is in your country, is it a Dacia? Then ask all the purchasing officers, do they drive a Dacia? Normally when I ask this question, the answer is a big fat no. In other words, in their home life, they don't just go and buy the cheapest pile of crap they can lay their hands on. Well, if that's not how you behave in your home life, don't come into this company, hang that brain up, put a walnut in its place, and behave like an idiot in my company. If you're making good decisions about your money here, make good decisions about my money here. You start with quality, then you go cost, then you go delivery. And that is how you control the inputs from suppliers and make sure that all your componentry is correct. You audit them in the first place and make sure that they are a quality company. And if you do that, guess what you'll do, folks? You'll make more money.